All right. Good morning, everybody. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome. We are recording. We are live here on a gorgeous Saturday morning in southern Utah. I hope you're staying warm wherever you're at. We have a very chilling 17 degrees right now. And with the wind chill, it's actually a lot colder than that. And you know what? With the beautiful sunshine, it's just super awesome to be here. And we're having Balloon Fest. So we got up early, had some coffee already. And we are ready to rock and roll now. Thank you for everybody who is joining us live here today in person. And then everybody who's going to watch this later. Hello, welcome, my dear friend. And let's support each other. Let's learn together and let's have some fun together. Okay. So, everybody who's going to be here live, make sure that you are joining my exercises that I'm going to be doing with you today. And then, everybody else, you can just take your time. Of course, I always encourage a rewatch so that you can take notes, you can dive deeper, you can pause, and then actually really get the fulfillment of each exercise and allow yourself to dive deeply into the answers that you're getting from your subconscious mind. Okay. So last week we talked about internal alignment. We brought together different parts of ourselves and how those parts are interacting with each other. Very specifically, we talked about a masculine part and a feminine part, which is also a representation of our right and left brain. It is a sign between head and heart. So you can use different ways of looking at it. The important thing is we're looking at different facets of ourselves. And when those are working together, it's just a much richer and a much more fulfilling experience that we can have in life. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to align ourselves with our divine self. We're going to build the bridge between our energetic self and our physical self. And that's what the law of attraction is all about. It's about being the catalyst, it's about being that channel between the energy, the quantum field, that which is in the energy wave function, and then manifesting it down, making it denser and denser and denser until it actually shows up as physical reality. That's the path that we're going to create today and where we're going to put our focus. And so, welcome everybody who's joined us since. I'm very grateful to see you here today. We've got some new faces as well. Welcome to you. And again, everybody who's going to watch this later, you are just going to be part of that field that we're creating right here, right now, because it's beyond time and space. And in the superposition, it's always there. And you are right here, right now, whenever you have the opportunity to watch this. So just feel yourself in our circle right here, right now, the welcoming, warm energy, all supporting each other, all here for each other. And as we support each other, we also get supported by the other people in the circle, and we're supporting ourselves, and we're being supported by our divine self. And I would like for you to simply just relax for a moment, rest in your body, and let's just honor our physicality, that we are made of cells, billions, trillions of cells. I mean, what a miracle it is to actually be here physically. When you really think about it, that's just spectacular. And I just need to, I had a little bit of background noise here. Let's be fully present. Just breathe deeply. Feel your physical body, move around a little bit. What a miracle to be here. To have all of these cells working together. Isn't that spectacular when you really think about it? The miracle of physical creation and how everything came together perfectly for you to be you. What a trip is that? So, really feel that right now, that physical self, the cells that are all working together, that create blood and that create veins and arteries and organs, and then they are tissues and muscles and bones and teeth and eyes. I mean, that's just insane when you really think about it. Wow. And we get to enjoy this every single day. So let's really give thanks for our physicality, for physical manifestation, for matter, for gravity, this beautiful planet that we get to be on. How magnificent. And just enjoy that for a moment. Just being here, present, breathing, enjoying that physical representation of yourself. And I've been listening to some quantum physicists again who say that it's actually matter is just an illusion. Matter is just a possibility. And you've heard about the double slit experiment, how the observer influences the experiment. And what a miracle it is that our energy field has arranged itself to turn out exactly the way that you have become. That's just fascinating. So look at it from that perspective as well. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is real. What a trip, huh? Wow. And that means we can change it. If there are things in your physical body that don't work for you. So one of the things that I've committed myself to in 2026 is to improve my eyesight. I've been getting some diagnoses about some things going on in my eyes. I know I've had a stigmatism for quite some time. And now I'm getting some other diagnosis. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna try psychic surgery before I get into some other more invasive physical surgery modes. And I'm just gonna see what happens when I'm putting my mind to it and I'm using the observer principle and I'm using some of those methods that I have used with other people very successfully because of the results that they're seeing in their life. I've done a lot of pre-op preparation, post-op, helping with healing, speeding up. My mother is my favorite example. That woman has beat the odds so many times. It's just fascinating. The things that she has done by giving herself the placebo and telling herself that she can change things in her mind, even so the doctors told her it wasn't possible. And you've heard me tell those stories about the aneurysms that she shrunk in her brain that doctors told her couldn't be shrank. Overcoming COVID on her deathbed. That woman was on her deathbed. And then here she is 3 years later, rocking it, running her household, being happy. What a trip. Yeah. So if an 82-year-old lady can do it, we can too. And you've done it. You've had a cold and you're like, oh, it's so inconvenient right now. I can't have that cold. I need to be better tomorrow. Lo and behold, you were better tomorrow. And other things that you have managed to change through shifting your perception. Someone told me the other day from the Course of Miracles, a miracle is just a shift in perception. And so, yeah, it is not set in stone, that physical expression of who we are. There is a choice that we can make. And then we can create very rapid shifts, not only in our thought processes, and that's my specialty, that's what I love to help people with. How can I turn negative self-talk? How can I turn a negative perception into a positive mindset? That's what I love to help people with, because to me, that's the start of everything. Once you do that, you can work on your money issues, you can work on your relationship issues, you can work on your body issues, help your career thrive, create the lifestyle of your dreams. It all starts in the mind. So when I can help people shift their negative thought patterns into positive thought patterns, that creates the foundation for everything else. Everything else then springs from there. So give yourself that ability right here, right now, because that is your true nature. The observer who taps into the quantum field, the collective conscience, the superconscious, the superposition. That's something I've been playing with a lot lately. The idea that a particle exists in multiple places at the same time. In the quantum field, the particle is all stretched out in the energy wave function. And then when we look at it and we focus on it and we're setting our intent, then it manifests in one spot in a certain way. And that's how we get to interact with the law of attraction. That's how we interact with this universal principle of being the observer. So when I look at the world around me and I'm like, ugh, this really sucks, and life keeps getting harder, and aging sucks, and people are just really stressed out, and oh my goodness, the generational gap, and just the list goes on and on and on, then I will live in that world and I will attract experiences to me that mirror those beliefs, that mirror that frequency that I'm putting into that frame that I'm watching the world through. It's a lens. It is like having my glasses being all smeared up, and therefore I just can't see the beautiful reality that's out there. I got some scratches on my sunglasses, unfortunately. And when I put them on, there is all this little scratches now on my left eye. And I have to replace them because it bugs me, because I'm not clearly seeing what's out there because of the scratches that are in the lens of my sunglasses. So now, in getting new sunglasses that are clean and clear, I'm going to have a different experience of reality. And there are not these scratches now where it gets a little bit foggy and I cannot clearly see what's out there for me to see. And that's exactly how it works with our perception as well. It's like having on dirty glasses. The glasses that say, no pain, no gain. Had a discussion about that again the other day. And man, they were so adamant about it. Ah, the suffering, how it teaches me. And without suffering, we can't grow and stuff. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I just don't buy it anymore, you guys. And I'm gonna challenge it. And I'm challenging it every single day of my life. When I get exposed to that perception, and I'm like, when was the last time that I really had to have it hard and the hardship was really bugging me down and it was just so terrible and whatever. Of course I have my moments. I'm like, okay, 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 gotta gather myself. But in general, no, I don't live there anymore. I know how it feels. I know how energetically draining it is. I know how heavy that burden feels when I'm going there. And I don't want that anymore. So I'm really going to challenge you guys. And perhaps that's part of your 2026 to entertain the possibility that we can learn and grow and thrive with joy and ease. I'm going to be giving a talk this afternoon about the hero's journey. And one of the principles with the hero's journey is that a lot of times the hero denies the calling. No, I don't want to go on the journey. No, I'm comfortable in my discomfort where I'm here right now. I love my little dungeon. I love my little tower that I'm sitting in. Ah, just leave me alone. I don't want to go on the journey. I don't want to grow. And then the cosmic 2x4 shows up. And then all of a sudden the big stuff shows up, the pain shows up, the initiation, the person who goes, hey, you need to go on that journey and I'm going to challenge you. The catalysts are showing up, the petty tyrants are showing up because we didn't heed the call. Because if we would have gone on the journey, the cosmic 2x4 didn't have to show up to whack us in the butt and say, come on, you got to go. Because thriving is natural. And that was one of the distinctions I made with the hero's journey when I first learned it. And I said to myself, so when I'm being called, when the universe is nudging me, saying, hey, Christiane, here's an opportunity, and why don't you take it? This is an invitation for you to go on the journey again in this specific context in your life. And here's an opportunity that I'm giving to you, that I'm offering to you. And in that moment to go, it's one of those. And I know that if I don't take it, the universe is going to keep persisting that I'm going to do it because obviously this is on my path and this is something I have to do. And so I've learned over time to say yes when the opportunity presents itself, when the nudge happens, when I'm hearing something for the third, fourth time, and I'm seeing something on Facebook, and then I see it again on YouTube, and then someone talks about it, and then I open a magazine, and there it is again. I'm like, okay, okay, I get it, I get it. And that's when I know I'm going to make it easy on myself. And the law of attraction so clearly states, don't do it if it's hard. Don't do it if you have to make yourself do it. That is not the point. If you have that little internal voice inside going, oh God, I hate doing this, and I'm just not feeling it, or oh, this is going to be so much work or whatever, then you are out of alignment. And then it is going to be hard. And then we are going to suffer because the suffering is in our head, it's in our heart. The head creates the thoughts create the emotions. And then all of a sudden we are in resentment. All of a sudden we are in frustration and impatience and self judgment and guilt and shame and da 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 da. The list goes on and on. So this is just me being on a soapbox here right now. How do we deal with that physical self, and how can we thrive in this world with ease and joy? And that is the greatest message that Esther Hicks has given me. Because she says things like, screw your past. Who cares how you grew up? You're living now. So what? You're going to drag those beliefs around that your parents imprinted in you 50 years ago? Grow up. Claim your power. Live now. And I was so offended when I heard this at first. I'm like, well, but, those beliefs inform me and they're deeply imprinted. Duh, 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 duh. So she gives me that piece. So it's like, no, get over it. And Jack Canfield said it clearly in The Secret. 80+% of people grew up in dysfunctional households. So get over it. Live now. Don't make that your excuse. Be done with it. Here you are right now. Create a new RAS. Create a new perception. You are the observer right here, right now. What do you want? So there is that part where it's like, yeah, just do it. Get over it. Do it now. Don't let the past drag you into it and still inform your present, which then, of course, creates your future. Because everything that we're having right now is a culmination of the past. So in order to get a different future, you need to change something right here, right now. And that's where the observer comes in. Esther Hicks talks about the vortex. The vortex, in my language, is the energy field. It is the energy wave function. That is the superposition where everything is one. Particles are in wave function format and they're spread out. Just imagine that a little bit. And I know this is so beyond our human comprehension. We can just scratch the surface of it and still we can get glimpses of it. And I get so happy when I'm on that level, when I really allow myself to tap into the oneness, into the all. And I'm just experiencing it and just imagining that everything is just energy, waves, possibility. And that's the vortex. And the second you set an intent or make a goal, you're setting things in motion in that realm. And that's why people like Louise L. Hay and as well as Esther Hicks and other law of attraction masters say, use your affirmations in present tense as if you have already achieved it. So now I go back into my little left brainer from 20 years ago when I first heard that and said, yeah, but it's not true because it hasn't happened yet. So when I'm saying that I'm healthy and I'm weighing a certain amount and I'm having a certain fitness in my body, that other little voice says, yeah, but you're just lying. You're just pretending. This is not real. And that's how I used to screw myself up. Because I had that internal conflict. There was that part in me that was making these affirmations. And then there was this other part in me that says, ach, you're just pretending. This is just all stupid. You're just making this up. It's not going to happen anyway. And then over time, what I learned is because of the vortex, because of the quantum field, the second I say those I am, and it's already my present tense affirmations in the vortex, it's real. That's where it's real. And it's done. And I already have the body that I want. I already have the finances that I want. I already have the thriving relationships that I want, the career fulfillment, the lifestyle of my dreams. In the vortex, it is done. And the fun, the joy of being in this physical form is to take that spark that we now put into the universe, into the energy field, into the quantum field, and through our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions on a daily basis through devotional practices, we get to put it now through our body into a physical form. We're making it denser and denser. Every thought I have towards it makes it a little bit more dense. Particles are now starting to form that are coming together. Those particles are coming together and they're building the subatomical world, which then becomes atoms. And the atoms are coming together and they're becoming molecules. Molecules are coming together and building actual matter. And there we are. All of a sudden, we hold it in our hand. I just heard it again the other day. Bob Proctor said, when you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Thoughts become things. That's what Michael Dooley says. There's so many wonderful quotes about that. In Hermetics, we say, it is by my will alone that I set my mind in motion. It is by my will, by my declaration, by my decision, by my intent that now I'm setting the universe in motion, and then it's just swirling on down. And that's where the chakras are coming in, because we're channeling it through our crown chakra. And that is the connection with the universe. Then it goes into our third eye, which is our vision. It goes into our throat, which is our declaration, us speaking our truth. It goes into our heart. Oh, now I'm getting goosebumps, which is now it's being fueled with passion and with love. And then it goes into our solar plexus, where we're totally claiming our power. It goes into under our navel, and now we're creating the creativity. And then it lands in our root chakra. Physical reality. There it is. So a personal example from my own life, because I love to play with it, with the children and see what they can create simply with their imagination and not having been conditioned by society that life is a certain way and that they have to do it a certain way and just let it flow. Have that innocence, have that creativity, and knowing that they can create whatever they want. And so one of the things that Rylin is really hot about is going to Paris. And that started about a year ago. I went to a store. I found this cute journal that had Paris on front of it. Then I went to the dollar store in Germany, the Euro store, and they had, they have in the crafts section, they had these papers. What were the papers? Of course, Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Mona Lisa, and Paris themed. I'm like, okay, here we go. Then I went to the DI in Salt Lake City, and they had this beautiful Eiffel Tower to put on your wall. It was cut out to put on the wall. And it's just, it keeps showing up. It keeps showing up. Now we're at a point, that kid is 9 years old. We're at a point where my parents are having a really big anniversary here in a few weeks. I'm going to Germany the end of March to be with my parents for their 60th anniversary, and Grayson was supposed to come. And because of things being busy in the family and work schedule and all that, it's just not going to work out. And he said, well, then I'm going to come later in the year and I'm going to bring two kids. And the first thought I had was like, isn't it interesting? I think Rylin is just taking a quantum leap towards her dream to go to Paris, because Paris is only a 6-hour drive from my hometown. Because that's how Europe works. Everything is so tiny that we literally drive to France in 2.5 hours. And so it's totally possible that this child is currently manifesting that dream of going to Paris at 9 years old. And I know it's going to happen sooner or later. And if you look in Matilda's journal, because for some reason she put in her mind, 4 years old, I want to go to China. And she's already learning to talk about the Himalayas, and she understands where the Great Wall of China is and where Hong Kong is and where the desert is. Because they are imprinting it into their minds, and they don't have those limitations that we allowed ourselves to be conditioned with, that it's not possible, it's too expensive, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, list. I was looking for tickets to go to a wedding in Georgia. Yes, exactly. The ticket from Salt Lake City to Georgia is more expensive than the ticket for my son, who's coming with me. My other son's coming with from Salt Lake to Germany. He's going to pay less to fly to Germany than I'm going to be paying to fly to Georgia. How crazy is that? And people don't know that because in their little radar screen of reality, it is too expensive. I don't have the vacation time. I don't speak the language, whatever it is that people put on themselves, why it's not possible. And I'm always challenging them like, you need to start looking because the way that other people gamble or they are super crazy about sports and they know all the statistics and whatever, I love to research trips. And I'm always ending up with the greatest trips for unbelievable prices, where all of a sudden the hotel drops by 40%. Okay, that just happened. And right now I'm actually looking at an upgrade for my son where the upgrade is cheaper. It's like literally more than 40% cheaper than what it was a couple of months ago when I was looking at it because he's 6'8". He needs extra leg room. So I started looking. I'm like, instead of squeezing him in there and begging the airline for an emergency exit seat, I just started looking at comfort seats. And there it is. I'm like, oh my God, that just happened. So I'm going to have a conversation with him later. I'm like, Max, let's lock it in. Make it so. Because that trip is usually almost twice as expensive for what you're getting here right now. And it is luck, alignment, coincidence. No, it's the observer principle. It is that deep-seating belief I always get the best deals. I find hotels for $42 a night in the middle of Shanghai. And they are wonderful, wonderful hotels. Because my observer, with that framework, is so conditioned and has the neurology to support that way of thinking and being in the world that it is perfectly aligned that I'm going onto the website in that moment where for some weird reason the hotel chose to lower its prices. Because I've seen the same hotel for over $100 a night. Absolutely. Or when my girlfriend in China says, hey, let's go to Xi'an together. We both wanted to see the Terracotta Warriors. And then, she happens to have this Marriott membership and we're ending up in the lounge and then they have happy hour every day and whatever. And we got everything for free. And then we're sitting in the conference room up in the lounge and I don't know what happened. A wall of glass cracked behind us for some reason. Don't know what was the reason for it. It just went and just this big crack, just like with the windshield or the car happened. Immediately, the maintenance team came up, the manager came up, and they were like, oh, please, can you sit somewhere else? And we're like, holy shit, yeah, that just happened. We just watched that happen. They were so embarrassed by the whole deal that we got another night for free. We got more lounge package. We got gifts and everything else. And I always say, you can't make this up. It's just too amazing how these things are happening. Or that the perfect parking spot shows up, or that the taxi shows up right at the moment when you need it, even so it's saying that it's going to take at least half an hour. Just one example after another. And does that sound fun and joyful? And is so far removed from no pain, no gain? Absolutely. And every single person who I know who has mastered the law of attraction is a generally upbeat, happy, enthusiastic, easy manifesting person. They are not trudging. I have to manifest this trip. Gosh darn it, now I have to look for those tickets and I like your smiles. You're like, yeah, I got it. Okay, you guys? So really put that in your field right now and really challenge yourself. And if that's the one thing you're taking with you today, please, 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 then I'm so more than pleased that that is something that touched you today to go, perhaps 2026 is the year where I'm going to start making it easier on myself. And I understand there are some beliefs about, Well, but then you're not really growing and you're not really getting the marrow of what it is that you're hoping to achieve here. And how can it be valuable if you didn't have to suffer for it? I know, I hear you. I hear you. I was there. I was there. I get it. And since I started to embrace the hero's journey by following the calling, going for the opportunities, because it doesn't mean I'm sitting on my butt and not doing anything. I'm working plenty. And I've shared that before. In German, the etymology of the word work comes from creation. I was just in a German meeting the other day and we talked about the erschaffen. That means to create. So when I work, I'm actually creating. And I made that switch in my mind. So there is no resentment. It is with joy. I get to do it. I want to do it. I'm having fun. I'm having a blast. I'm doing my fulfillment. I'm living my purpose. So give yourself that for everything that you feel that you're trudging. And when it comes to, I'm on a diet, I need to eat this, and I hate veggies, but I'm supposed to eat veggies. I mean, what's the point of that? Seriously. So it is not so much about forcing ourselves to doing the behaviors that we know are good for us. It's about learning and imbuing and living consistently, being passionate, being excited, being in a high vibration with whatever we're choosing to be doing. So when I am enjoying my coffee and I'm putting creamer in and some caramel syrup or whatever and the sugar and whatever, it's about, I love my coffee. And I'm now 2 months, almost 2 months without any soda. And that is awesome because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I was drinking it and going, I don't even like the taste anymore. I know it's just purely addiction. It's just me conditioning myself that this is what I like, this is what I love. And I have flipped it, and now my brain is getting used to the new way of doing it. And I'm making sure I have bubbly water around me. And I do some different flavors. Sometimes I do a little lemon, sometimes I do orange. I'm not the berry type, and all that totally satisfies it. And I'm doing it with this, I'm loving it. This is awesome. I made some chai tea last night. It was spectacular. Homemade chai tea. It was so good. And it was a ritual. It was a devotional practice. It was love, a creative art of love that I put into this tea, and it was spectacular. So that would be my encouragement for you. And that's how you are connecting yourself with the divine and with the oneness. Because in my experience of the oneness and the all, it is just pure beingness, pure potential, pure possibility. Put all those words into that. And then the wave function is just all spread out. We're part of it. And just that isness is so fantastic. There is zero judgment. And there is no pain, no suffering. Just pure isness, a pure acceptance, unconditional, totally unconditional. Ah. And then to manifest from that and let that flow into your everyday experience. That is the trick. And that is the mastery. And that is what allows people to manifest those cool things out of nothing. I came from nothing and now here I am multimillionaire. Oh, I came from really dysfunctional relationships and now I found my perfect partner. You know, I manifested this, I manifested that. How does this happen? When you really ask those people those questions, it's about that state of being that they're having and that trust, that faith that they're having in their deservingness and that it's possible and that they can do it. Those are actually the three principles by Robert Dilts, who was a major contributor to NLP, that we have to believe it's possible at all. If we don't believe it's not possible, then we can't do it. The second level is we need to believe that we can do it, which makes it probable. And the third level is make sure I deserve it. I'm worthy of it. Because if I have that little voice inside my head that says, ah, you don't really deserve it. You've messed up all your life. Who tells you that you can do it? Who do you think you are? And I heard that a lot when I first got into the law of attraction. Oh, this is just a bunch of BS. What do you mean you can manifest anything you want? And that when you put your mind to it, then over time it's going to happen. And when you're aligning your thoughts and you are passionate about it and you are in a high frequency and then you're taking the actions that it's going to happen. You need to work for the paycheck. You need to be in the system. You need to do this. You need to do that. And no, I refuse to live in that world anymore. And what's going on out there right now? Most of the time, I'm keeping myself pretty isolated when it comes to outside in input. And I'm paying a lot more attention to what's going on here. What is the reality that I want to live in? What is the universe that I'm living in? And then projecting that on the outside, to the outside. We're creating from the inside out. And the more alignment we have in our physical self and alignment with our higher self, the easier it becomes. And then we don't get bogged down by what's happening out there. Now, am I completely uninformed? No, I know what's going on. I know enough what's going on in the world, and there are news and there are certain aspects that I'm hearing about what's happening politically, economically, social systems, what's happening in the world. And then I just let it flow. What can I do about it? What is my involvement in it? Can I send love? Can I send resources? Can I send a prayer? Can I hold space for people? And then what can I do in my own life to create that ripple effect? And that's one of the things that Carl Jung said, for example, that every thought is a download into the superconscious. So every time I'm thinking something positive, I'm affecting the field just minutely, very, very little, but I am affecting it positively. And everything that I'm thinking that is fear-based, I am now downloading a fear thought into the collective. If it's hate-based, there's a little bit more hate now. If it's hope-based, a little bit more hope. If it's enthusiasm, a little bit more enthusiasm. And then it becomes available to everybody because we're all entangled. We really have a high social responsibility. I like to tell that to my students. When you had a wake up and you understand more how the universe works and how you're participating, how you're co-creating, you have a social responsibility to be at your highest vibration possible. Another Jack Canfield quote that my friend Cassie shared with me a few months ago, and it's been in the background of my mind. Our job is our frequency, period. That's all. That's all we need to think about and care about. What kind of frequency am I vibrating at right now? Am I in a place of love or am I in a place of fear? Am I neutral, where when you go down, it goes slightly frustrated all the way down to desperation, hopelessness, hate, or going up, hope, and then you go into the fields of gratitude, appreciation, nirvana, fulfillment. Ah, fantastic. And we get to choose our vantage point. We get to choose where we want to hang out. And you got to ask yourself, what is my calling in this life? Am I supposed to be the person who's miserable and has a tough life? And I'm dying on the hill, no pain, no gain, because for some reason it fulfills me, and that's what my soul has to learn in this life? Or is it more along the lines, let's see how far I can take it with this law of attraction stuff and how much possibility I can create for myself. Let's see where I can take that when I am putting out my thought in a specific subject area and I want to see where it takes me. there are things happening in my life right now that I could have never imagined 20, 30 years ago when I started that journey. And I was just barely scratching the surface of what this whole you can change your mind and you can change your neurology and then you create new neural pathways and you can learn to love yourself and you can learn to change your perception about things. And then the law of attraction came into my life a few years later, and that just like, oh my God. And then I got introduced into the Hermetic system and the shamanism and energy work. And I'm like, oh my God, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And I'm standing at another threshold right now. Actually, I did in January, and I took that leap, trust me. And it's been amazing. Just mind blowing. And I'm like, oh my God, what else is going to happen? This is just spectacular. And that gives me so much juice. That gives me so much excitement. And my used to be drama queen, you used to need chaos and all that stuff to grow. Now I get to be the hero who's like, oh my goodness, let's see what is behind this mountaintop. And let's see what happens when I'm crossing this ocean. And so on and so on. And then more and more possibilities show up. I couldn't even squeeze all the trips that I have invitations for and that are currently being proposed to me in this year. I'm already starting to think about 2027. I already have a trip scheduled for 2027 in May that is on my calendar that I already paid money for. Yeah, that's how far ahead I'm currently planning trips because I have so many opportunities coming to me. Now, is it a coincidence that in my vision board map, I have a ton of pages from travel magazines with different places on Earth? And I did share that with you guys a few weeks ago. How, when I was getting ready for my vision board workshop that I attended a few weeks ago, and the vision board is actually, by the way, hanging right in front of me, and I'm looking at it right now. And I looked through my vision boarding map, and there was this beautiful picture of a temple in Thailand that I had cut out 3, 4 years ago. It was just hanging out in my vision boarding map. I hadn't even put it on my vision board. And that is exactly the temple I visited in September. It was a trip I hadn't even planned. A trip that fell into my lap. Can't make this up, you guys. But that's real. And that is the observer in action. So think about the framework that you want to put around your observer, the reality that you want to manifest in your physical body, in your finances, in your career development, your fulfillment, your legacy, your purpose. That's all one. And your relationships. One of the things, because as a relatively new widow, one of the things I expressed to a friend the other day, I am attracting healthy platonic relationships with men. Someone asked me if I'm ready to date. I'm like, ho, 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 that's a little early, my friend. And that's when I said that. I'm like, you know what? All I want right now is just healthy platonic relationships with men. And that feels so good to be putting that into the universe. So that now becomes the framework of the observer. And then I get these beautiful examples of people walking into my life, and I'm like, oh, that is nice. That's a nice feeling. And we're having this lovely conversation. I went to a balloon fest gathering this morning, and there were so many wonderful people. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, just introducing myself, having a conversation with someone. It felt nice, just nice. And that is now, again, a framework that is influencing the experience because the observer is looking at the field from that vantage point. So if you want to see it visually, on the top, we have the vortex. On the bottom, we have the physical manifestation. It's like a tree. The tree then has roots that go into the ground. And you, the stem, the channel, your pranic tube, your chakra system, your physical self is the catalyst, and you're the observer. You're the channel between the non-physical and the physical. It is our job to keep this channel as clean as possible by monitoring our thoughts, by practicing awareness. And every time that you feel that you are saying something to yourself that is diminishing you or your environment or other people or money or experiences or situations or events, that you go, huh, do I really want to believe that? Is this what I want to create? That life is hard? That I'm never going to make it to Europe because it's too expensive? That I'm not going to be able to attract a loving relationship because I've been hurt too much, that I'm not able to get my fulfilling job because I just have to work for the paycheck, or anything else, or that I'm stuck with a certain condition in my body that I can't change. I want you to really think about that and take that into March, to give yourself the opportunity and to give yourself the possibility to expand your thinking and just try it out. You don't have to make a commitment for the rest of your life. All I'm asking you is give it 30 days. Just give it the month of March and see what happens. When you're challenging yourself to say, I'm just going to pay more attention to what's going on in my head and what I'm putting out there into the universe in the form of my thoughts. Because every thought influences your feeling state, your emotions, and then that influences the actions that you're taking. Okay? So that is enough of a soapbox for this morning, my dear friends. And we're definitely going to meet again next week. I have something super special planned for you all because I just love doing this stuff. So I just had an inspiration where I would like to do a super quick little challenge, a super quick little super mini boot camp at the end of February, because this is really a pivotal time. This is now where over 85% of people statistically drop out of their goals. Done. I'm just talking about, oh yeah, I'm just saying, oh yeah, that's right. I had this New Year's resolution. I'm not doing anything with it. Oh yeah, this goal, it wasn't that important anyway. Blah, blah, blah. So this next week is pivotal, and then going into March and going into the springtime and the Easter time, there is so much awakening and there is so much life energy that is going around. So I definitely want to give us all the opportunity to have a very clear, clean channel to process all of that energy through. So on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to do a super quick live stream, just half an hour, and then connect with you. And then Saturday morning, we're definitely going to do our Zoom meeting again right here, same ID. Okay, so keep that in your browser. And then we're just going to talk about it and what do we want to take into the springtime. Okay, with that, big, big hug, everybody in the superposition. We're all connected. We're all together right here, right now. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here. And we're going to keep supporting each other on our journey because this is awesome. And this is a super mega awesome hero's quest that we're all supporting each other. We are a fellowship that is truly doing this together. And I appreciate every single one of you so much. Thanks, my friends. Bye.